Like, how bad are they? What are they doing? At off campus, on campus, all of the above?
Yeah, on campus, but they don't even be going out for like they just be having little music.
Wait, do you have any printer paper?
Probably. You mean to sign in on
No, like to like do work
for your genogram?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm late, but I'm getting it done.
You're going to get it done no
How
matter
many
what.
generations was it supposed to be?
Ideally, it's 3.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not impossible. I promise you that.
I put their names.
Oh, yeah, you got them all written down?
I took writing.
Okay.
But I didn't put no names on. I just put like with the simple. Like,
Yeah, you could do that. So again, like I've got clients every Monday and every Wednesday. And then I start out, really the assessment kind of starts you out that way. Because you're asking even about how you were born, how that's why we start here with infancy, and you guys go through all these. Because she can happen at any age here, like that can affect your development. Maybe there was a trauma, maybe a parent passed, maybe coronavirus happened. That was a trauma for all of us. Maybe you walked late because of it. Maybe you didn't get the exact nutrition you were supposed to. Maybe you weren't able to do the fine motor skills this way. And as crazy as it sounds, it can affect you throughout your life. So that's why we go through these. Maybe there's an uncle with a history of addiction, so that lets it be known that you're challenged that way. Maybe you have active sleep. What other questions do you guys have about the genogram?
I'm gonna do it right now, and then I'm gonna show you, and then I'm gonna turn it in.
That how it is going to be like high school homework where you do it in the class and you're like, all right, I just turned it in, teacher. So the better, it's a good first try, and the better you guys get at this, the better you'll be as a social worker to see what's up with like how we develop, how the infant's mental health is, how you assess the infant's mental health. We've got several theories we look at. One is attachment theory, like how connected were you guys to one of your adults growing up in life? Was it mom, grandma, dad, a cousin, an uncle, or somebody that was the only most stable adult in your life? Or sometimes it's why I'm going to have you guys watch Paper Tigers. They say the most important thing we can have is at least one stable adult in our life, at least one. Sometimes that's all we get. Like growing up, all I had was one, and that's if it's possible we don't have a stable adult in our life, who do you look up to? You know what I mean? And that's kind of why they do these different trauma interventions, the adverse childhood experiences. Anybody look those up yet? The ACEs? What? Yeah, have any of you taken the ACEs quiz or know what it looks like?
Wasn't that like from black? No.
Okay, well, here's my trauma PowerPoint. So, like, knowing trauma does affect us and having the understanding of what trauma does to affect us is huge. So, one thing to determine that is known as the ACEs questionnaire. Maybe you guys have seen this. You don't have to speak it out right if you don't want to. ACEs questionnaire. Answers. I don't know. So here's the 10. Usually you rate on like, I'll try to find a website. Well, here's the one for an adult. And this is where a lot of us may start when we are a social worker with people. Here's your 10 questions though. Do you feel that you don't have enough to eat? had to wear dirty clothes, or had no one to protect or take care of you? Did you lose a parent through divorce, abandonment, death, or other reason? Did you live with anyone who was depressed, mentally ill, or attempted suicide? Do you live with anyone who had a problem with drinking or using drugs, including prescription drugs? Because you can get like pain pills and take double and triple the dose because they get you high as a kite. Did you or your parents in your home ever hit, punch, beat, or threaten to harm each other? So domestic violence. Um, did you live with anyone who went to jail or prison? Did a parent or adult in your home ever swear at you, insult you, or put them down? Did a parent or adult in your home ever hit, beat, kick, or physically hurt you in any way? Did you feel that no one in your family loved you or thought you were special? And finally, did you experience unwanted sexual contact, such as fondling, oral, anal, vaginal intercourse, penetration? And those are the 10 questions they use for the ACEs questionnaire. They may change if you had, as a kid, they had given it out. But there's a lot of research on this. So if you have two or three of those happen, that is very common, is the normal 2, 3, or 4 of those. If you had more than 4, they do recommend speaking to someone like Dr. Hunt, other counselors, other social workers, and you'll get through it. You know what I mean? Like most of us have 2 or 3 ACEs. Those of us that have 3 or 4 or more, it's helpful to have somebody like Dr. Hunt. Any of you guys know who Dr. Hunt is? That's good. She may be hiring new counselors soon because we have just enough. Like we have quite a few. So if you go online and take that goes along with the documentary I'm going to have you watch when we have this baby over the weekend. Probably next week. It could come tomorrow. If it doesn't, we're going to get induced on, they only let you get induced on the first day of your 39th week. They won't allow it anytime before that. So this weekend she turns 39 and we're going to do, it could even be, I think she said they don't do inductions over the weekend. So it could be Monday, but that still affects this class if we don't have it tomorrow or Thursday. So this ACEs questionnaire is what goes along with the movie I was about to show you. And this is the Adverse Childhood Experiences Questionnaire. And it was those 10 questions. Your ACE score measures the amount of toxic stress you could have experienced as a child. A higher score increases the risk of disease and emotional problems. So that's what they've been noticing about it. So it could be heart disease or even lung disease, even if you don't smoke. So that's what they found so crazy is that like, oh, I didn't know it changed those. Interesting. There's also a score of 1 to 3 with ACEs indicates intermediate risk of toxic stress. A score of 1 to 3 with at least one ACE-associated condition, or a score of 4 or higher, can increase the risk of toxic stress. Oh, it's okay. So you can actually pull up the PDF and help. So what they were finding with the research is a lot of folks, well, so if you have a score of 0, which nearly none of us have, you're low risk. And if you've got 1 to 3, you become intermediate risk. 1 to 3 with associated health conditions, or a 4+ with or without the health conditions are higher risk. And then, so what the research was showing is you're more likely to have asthma. You could have dermatitis, eczema, because your body shuts down, like your ability to fight off disease and stuff with toxic stress. Have you ever heard this before? When you're stressed out, you have more sicknesses, more diseases, more. Think about exam week even. Doesn't everybody get sick during exam week? It doesn't help that it's Christmas, Thanksgiving, or Easter, I guess. Is that usually when they are? poor dental health, increased infections like UTIs, sleep disturbances, developmental delay, repeating a grade, not completing homework. So these are a lot of the things that came up. Most folks, and I think Dr. Hunt, if you see her, will ask these questions, obviously confidentially again, because that's important. But as you grow up as an adult, then you have a higher risk for a stroke. You have a higher risk for asthma and diabetes, obesity, hepatitis, cancer, kidney disease even. And what's crazy is you think, well, okay, yeah, that makes sense because you're going to drink or smoke because you're like got one of those adverse childhood experiences. So you like drink to forget about it but this is even showing up with people that didn't drink. So even people that didn't drink are having more episodes of a stroke, more diabetes, things of that nature. So as a social worker, we start right at the very beginning. Some of the strengths and hazards. Anybody ever heard the term breast is best? So when you have a baby, they say at least give them breast milk whenever you can. Minimal, like ideal is they go 3 to 6 months breastfeed them. A lot of people have a hard time because you got like literally you're holding like an 8-pound dumbbell, trying to get it to attach to your like the attaching is the hardest. Like a lot of people can't get the baby to latch. Some people, maybe you have sensitive skin, so like you'll want to wear the guard, but the guard is plastic, so it's like wearing a plastic overcoat and the baby can't attach well to that, so it gives up. So some people pumping is all just as good because you're still getting the breast milk. So they say with breastfeeding, who recommends exclusively breastfeeding for this first 6 months of life? That's a hard ass thing to do. I know my wife was able to do it with one of our 3 and that's it. We did pump. We did everything we could. You also have 3 different types of breast milk. Right when you have your baby, you have like one of them's blue, then it goes like yellow, then it goes like clear. Let me see. Yeah, because one of them is like right when they're born, and it has like all the natural 3 types of breast milk. Yeah, that's one of them. That's like the first 3 days, right? Colostrum's the first one. Yellowish or creamy color. It's high in protein, fat soluble, vitamins, minerals. Produced during pregnancy, lasts for a few days after birth. Traditional or transitional milk, it replaces colostrum, produced 2 to 4 days after birth. It's thin and white. So if you could get through all 3 of these stages, that's probably perfect, ideal. It has calories, protein, and then mature milk, it's like 10 days later, so 10 to 15. Maybe they have pictures. Images. There's some of them. So one of them's almost bluish. What's that?
I said, I want to see it blue.
Like that.
Did your wife ever try her own breast milk?
Yeah. It's sweet.
It's sweet.
Yeah. I see why kids like it. I mean, it's like, I mean, I'm not going to fully disclose that, but it's possible. It's very possible. Just accidentally, she can like squirt you with it. But so these are the 3 colors, and yeah, it's like it heals anything. So if you got like bad eczema, she would like take some, put it on them. Fucking heals their skin and cuts and rashes and shit. It's crazy. It's like the miracle drug. So I don't know why. I guess maybe because it has all those vitamins. I should almost search that too. So like, why does breast milk heal everything? Oh, I don't want to do images on that one though, but it's like it contains components that help protect it. Infection disease, they use home remedies like minor conditions, anti-infective factors, okay, anti-inflammatory properties. It has a lot. Eye infections, eczema, diaper rash. She would put it on their diaper rash. It freaking works for everything, for real. There you go. Molecules that regulate circadian clocks, signaling when it is time to wake, eat, and sleep. It's recommended for. It's like the miracle drug. So that's why the longer you can feed them this shit, the better it is. I'd like to put it into my coffee, but I don't think my wife will give me any. That's my bad joke for the day. It is, yeah, and it's some people save it up, like they'll pump, and it's good a week in the fridge. It's good like months in the freezer, and that way you can have it long after the kid has teeth, and you can quit feeding them when they got teeth, which is scary. So there's lots of options. Here's what it says. Antibodies are passed down from the mother to provide greater protection against infections and SIDS. Long-term benefits, diabetes, leukemia, high blood pressure, asthma. Less than 40% of babies 6 months and younger are exclusively breastfed. Because it's freaking hard. It is a lot of hard work. Don't use the guard if you can prevent it. Because like I think my wife found out, when she didn't put the plastic guard over, it hurts at first, but then you get used to it and then you're fine. So that's what she noticed. But like if you're not prone to pain and you're like, oh hell no, I ain't doing that, and then you quit right away, you might use the guard and then never actually do it successfully. It does lower SIDS even. So sudden infant death syndrome. That's the unexpected death of an infant for which no physical abuse can be found. Most common is the first year of life. African American babies are 2 times more likely to die of SIDS than white babies. Several infant and parental risk factors believed causes. So like changes in the infant's airways, viral infection, sleeping on their stomach. Some folks say it could be and I can't say it out loud with this running, but like the different shots they get. If you got like all 4 at once at your 3-month appointment, what my wife will do is spread them out 2 and 2, because that's a lot of crap coming into your body for like, and it does affect you. It's just like you're getting a little bit of the disease put into you for your body to build immunity. So it's not terrible to spread that out. Have 2 this week and 2 the next week, instead of some people are like, oh no, I'm too busy, I got to get all 4 this day and then I ain't coming back because I got to go to work or something. So there is that theory too. I can't describe it perfectly for you guys, but then it's also believed causes changes in their airways, viral infection, sleeping on their stomach. So that's when they came up with hbse's in the crib: alone, back, crib. So if you have a baby, they say the ABCs are alone, back, and crib, and that's the back to sleep campaign. Babies are safest when they sleep on their back. Alone meaning like no co-sleepers, because they're afraid maybe you drink too much on a Friday night, you roll over on your baby and smother it. It really does happen. And then alone also no like stuffed animals, blankets, all that, is that maybe the baby could get to a point where it blocks like their airways. Also, if you're on your stomach, you could just go and just totally block. But if you're on your back, you don't do that. So that's like the first few months, because they really can't move well. By about 4 or 5 months, the babies are able to turn themselves and like get away from obstructive breathing or whatever it's called. Any of that making sense? Still crazy to go over this.
I thought babies supposed to when they sleep, because I thought if you lay on their back, their head started to get like that flat head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, if you lay them too long on their back, that's correct. But like if you're just laying them down to sleep, that's fine, and you pick them up when they're awake. But yes, if you just laid them in the crib 24 hours a day, they will. They always get hair rubbed off, and the flat head too. But I guess it's telling us to interact with them however they. But the campaign is truly alone, back, and crib. So ABC, alone, back, crib. I think they even added a D on there for some reason. And they even had like commercials and everything. They were paying a lot of money in Cincinnati, because here's what it would look like. Midwest has the worst. Oh, come on. I hate when they do this. It's always Facebook that has it. Let's try this.
As the executive director of Celebrate One. At Celebrate One, we focus on 3 goals: reducing prematurity, eliminating preventable sleep-related deaths, and connecting the disconnected. Too many babies die in unsafe sleep environments, and many of these deaths are preventable.
I think every community member should know the ABCs of safe sleep, and they should share that message with everyone who has a baby or is in touch with a baby under 12 months of age. And so the ABCs again are: baby should sleep alone on their back in an empty crib, and they should share the room and not the bed.
Together,
Yes.
we can and must change the outcome for families in Central Ohio, now and for years to come.
So it was bad in Ohio. Like they had some stats out, and the Midwest is the worst for some reason. Here's another one. I don't know how different it is, but it's that ABC thing again. It's always alone, back, crib.
The Monroe County Public Health Clinic. Babies need a safe place to sleep. They need their own crib where they're alone on their backs in that crib. It's the best place for babies to sleep to prevent issues with breathing and potential risk for sudden infant death syndrome. Sudden infant death syndrome is the death of a baby from birth to up to 1 year of age. It's unknown the exact causes, but it's thought that overheating contributes, as well as issues of sleep, such as suffocation. The Cribs for Kids program here.
Overheating can happen after you get like shocked. You ever feel them get a fever? And that's why I think spreading them out helps. Shoot. Did it go silent again?
And an infant survival kit for each mom who is within 4 weeks of delivery or has a baby up to 12 months of age. In each infant survival kit is a Halo sleep sack, a pacifier, a book, a thermometer, and a fitted sheet, along with some literature explaining the rationale for the safe sleep recommendations. Each crib is provided at no cost to mothers, and we can help with transportation if needed.
So that's IU. That's also kind of like the Midwest. Like the Midwest seem to be hit the hardest with it. Sometimes we all have grew up with like parental knowledge that is good and fine and got them that far, but the research doesn't hurt. So these are a lot of the research things that it's TikTok. I don't think they'll let me play this here, will they? How do y'all get TikToks?
For the anti-crib and anti-baby gear sleep sack people, this one's for you. This is my 11-month-old, and she is flying all over the place in her crib tonight. She doesn't wake up, but she definitely repositions herself and wants to get comfortable. Could you imagine if she had a blanket over her? It would have flown over her head at that point. It's really important to practice safe sleep habits and put your baby in a sleep sack as opposed to a blanket and give them the space they need. It's not mandatory, but it's my recommendation. And I'm Amanda, your baby sleep coach.
Sounds like that's selling a product, but it had nothing to do with ABC alone back in the crib. But it sounds like they were selling that little sack, which I swear to you, they charge fucking $90 for them. I don't think that they're
$90?
Yeah, because they get you like, oh, you're going to save your baby's life if you use this. Like, shut the fuck up.
Safe sleep is important because everyone wants to have a happy, healthy baby who
It's
lives
a freaking sack.
a long life and is safe from any sort of harm. And in Virginia and in Henrico specifically, we want to educate our parents and
lot of
caregivers
hair
to
for a
ensure that the babies in our community are in the best and safest sleep environment possible. The reason that the Safe Sleep campaign is important is that in the state of Virginia between 2014 and 2016, we had over 150 infant deaths related to improper bedding and unsafe sleep. So because of that, we are very motivated to teach our community about what safe sleep looks like and to encourage families.
So they're even saying do not smoke indoors around them. No bumper pads or pillows. That's the alone part. I guess no smoke is the alone part. Just oxygen. Tight fitting sheet. And that's so you don't get like the wrinkles or like the sheet will come over their face and smother them. Overheat or overdress, which I still also think after you get your shots, you get like a fever a lot of times. So should sleep on a firm mattress, on the back to sleep, sleep in the crib, and then no toys. So there's also that little thing that attaches to the bed. So that's how you can get them to like sleep close to you, next to you. And that's for like the first 6 or 8 months. And then they go to the crib. So
families and caregivers to practice
I
safe
forget
sleep,
what it's
and
called,
maybe we
though.
can prevent some of these unnecessary deaths. In 1994, there was a campaign that was extremely successful that was called the Back to Sleep campaign, where there was a change in thinking of how you laid your babies down to sleep. And in the 80s, it was believed that you should lay your baby down to sleep on their stomach so that if they spit up or
Change.
vomited in their sleep, they wouldn't choke on their vomit. And then they did research and determined that that was actually inaccurate, that they were more likely to choke or to suffocate if they were laid on their
they always get that like thing from sucking on the bottle, or even it's kind of like a blister. It's interesting.
stomach. So the Back to Sleep campaign was initiated in the 90s, and they had trained parents to lay their children on their back when they went to sleep. And as a result of that campaign, there was a 60% reduction in the amount of sudden unexplained infant deaths.
Damn.
So riding on the momentum of the Back to Sleep campaign, the Safe Sleep campaign is attempting to address ensuring that children are placed in situations that are safe for them to sleep in. So one of the things that's easy to help parents and caregivers remember when thinking about safe sleep.
So that only changed. 2 of my siblings were born in the 80s. So they were, telling them to put them on their stomach back then. Same with me. So we all should have died. We didn't. But in the 90s, it changed. They said 60% less died because of that. And that's, did something happen out there?
I think it's a wasp.
Oh, okay. Want me to let it out?
The ABCs of safe sleep.
I'm allergic to them.
A, which is alone, babies
I am
should be sleeping
allergic.
alone. B is on their back, laying down to sleep on their back. And C is in a crib. Always placing a child in a crib or a bassinet somewhere where they are away from adults or other people, not on a couch, not on an adult's bed, but in a crib.
So yeah, those are the different things we do for alone back in crib. We were close to, okay, so at 1 month, they'll like look at you, follow your face. 5 months, they turn their head to look for a drop spoon. They'll hear it drop. At 7 months, they find you partially hidden. That's why you can play peekaboo, and they think it's hilarious because they think you disappear every time you like cover your head. They think you disappear for real. 10 months, they uncover a toy under the cloth. So that's when they start figuring it out. And then at 12 months, they don't understand invisible displacements. That's probably the peekaboo one. And then at 2 years, they have full object permanence. So they can hold an image and a person in their mind and know where the cookies are kept. My mom said when she breastfed my brother, I knew she was stuck on the couch, so I would push a chair across the kitchen and steal all the fucking cookies. So that's when I knew I was going to have problems.
Oh, shit.
Did he leave?
Yeah, he's leaving.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, should I just shut it now? It'll crush
Yeah,
it.
shut it, shut it.
You want me to kill it?
It's already out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, shut that.
Should I kill it?
Not to do this one.
It might be in that fruit.
My wife hates that every time there's a spider, I try to pick it up, save it, and throw it outside.
I know the spiders are the ones that bleach, God's gonna be spraying everything. God's gonna be I need you to be disabled. Okay, I have never heard.
Get stung on the lips. Any questions, though? I know you guys have your things due, and I can help you through those. This is like when I was in high school. I do my homework in class.
Wait, was this the outside?
Yes, this is it. She just did it in class.
Is this right or not?
You're getting there, so make sure to add like
Wait, is this your class?
date of birth when you can remember them. Those who had like addictions, okay, alcoholism, who finished high school, who did not, like as much information as you can
Okay, so you put birthdays.
get. Yes. The more the information, the better. Correct. Yes. That way. That's probably due later, right? It's on D2L.
But it don't show like a book.
There should be. Somebody's already turned them in. They're like right here. Yeah. I mean, you can turn them both in. You can turn them both in. So you just go to activities, assignments. Well, that's not due for a minute. See how? So EcoMap is, I'll try to stretch it out until when I come back from the baby. That way. I'll even put the video in with it. EcoMap video. It's always that lady that talks about her daughter. There it is. See? You guys need to see this one again? You all have already seen this though. I feel like
video.
I'll paste it in there so you can
From
see.
idea to submission, empower students to do their best work with Grammarly's generative AI.
Is AI that good nowadays that you can like, it doesn't do citations for you. That's how teachers always know. It doesn't cite anything. Just put like year of birth. It doesn't have to be their actual birthday. So like the year of their birth. In a broad range. So let's do 1, 2. What if we have the baby here? Right. Right. That's why the more details, the better. You'll get 3 solid weeks to do this shit. You got all kinds of time to do it. And so detail it up. You have to do it too.
No, like this, that class is dumb. Like I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh.
What class?
But Karen will help you out. Like if you just, it's a lot of details. Is it's getting you certified to be a child. It's a lot. It's a lot. So mainly, think about it this way. You're looking for abuse. You're looking for, there's nothing online. She refuses to do it online. But child services. So
She tests me on everything that she be talking about, like immediately, like I don't.
I be like the last class at my my busy days. I just be checked out. Like
And I be like trying to, she like make us like, oh, what did you learn today?
Some
So
people
in front of you, said like we all didn't sit there and learn the same thing. And I just be looking like, hello? Am I here right now for real? No, okay.
she won't do much online. It is a good class to know.
But she don't do nothing in person. I just say everything online. I go online.
okay, well, I mean,
So maybe you have to sit with her and click through it to find it.
I try. I even email her. And tell her like,
Does it look like, what number are you in? Is it 4-2?
here's how her class is. She goes through her notes on the screen and then she'll just talk about it. But then she never really told us that we had assignments online. To my knowledge,
yeah, she
I had
knows.
to find it out from a classmate. So,
And like, I email her. I'm like, how did you expect us to know? Like we didn't. We had assignments. Like I was unaware these assignment classes. What's this called?
well,
Child and Family Services.
yeah, and then
Do you see it on here at all?
My environmental science.
4420? Is it 4420? So if you go into, so then what if you go into content?
Could you be my teacher?
They won't let me teach it because it has to be that she's hired specifically for that. It's a grant. So here it is. Look, that's what you got to do. So go into content, then you go in here. Week 1. It's like properly set up, and then it's a lot of shit. So then here's all your intro, objectives, reassignment. Huh? No, it's an elective, but you can get paid if you do. And then there's your discussion.
Like, I'll have a girl shop
Give me a walking class.
And then say then, what are we in, week 3 now already? It's already, here you go, here's week 2. There's a lot of stuff. Any of you guys taking it? You got to go to content because they're like a traditional class. Can you go here? Can you go to this? Or does it say nothing? That's due in November and December. We'll throw something out here because I'm gone. We'll do this. We're going to induce the baby on the weekend. So let's do this. Isn't there discussion somewhere? Yes. Okay. So let's do, we could at least have you do this, right? We could at least have you guys do this. That way. I'm just opening it right now. Just because I'm gone. Oh, somebody already did it. I didn't even know it was visible to you guys.
It's not. That's something else that say questions and concerns.
Oh, I see. Okay. You see how often I go into here. It says, okay. Yeah. But just because I am gone next week, let's see if I can like edit too. I can post shit about myself. What questions do you have? We'll even give you like 666.
Oh, absolutely not. We could do like 444.
That is a lot though. Let's give you, we'll give you at least 150 for that. Okay. That way, wait, isn't there a due date usually? Well, I guess if it's no due date, just do it while I'm gone.
That's how it be in that class. I got recycling. We in that class? I got recycling. That class, she be in class.
She could have the baby tonight or tomorrow. I keep saying that, so I doubt it. And with that being said, I want to give you guys time to work on your eco map and genogram.
Okay, she will be sitting here tonight.
If she has it tonight, then